This is the RS5. Let me do it like this. Yes. This color is apparently a special color called Sport Classic. It's from Porsche, apparently. So the name Sport Classic does make sense. And I think the wheels in bronze does really look good with the color. I mean, I still like the color of the bronze in 992 GT3 better, but that color was also called neodyne. But this car is a looker, and in this color, I think it's perfect. And it's a Sportback, so so you got the hatchback, kind of like tailgate and extra door. So yeah, shall we drive further? Oh, take a look at that. Yes, open the roof. Blue sky. Hello, welcome back to video of Ted's car. And today we are in Audi RS5 Sportback, and the latest one is the facelifted one. So let's start with the why. Well, it's pretty simple really. RS5 is smaller than RS6 because before 6 is 5. I'm kidding. Because this car is somehow an unsung hero, kind of underrated, which is a good indicator that you can get it for a little bit cheaper than what it's worth, or the price tag which is asked by Audi, right? And second, the engine in this car I'm quite familiar with. So this is the same engine, the 2.9 liter V6 turbocharged. It's the same as the one in second generation Panamera, the Panamera S, and third generation Cayenne S. In both of those cars, the engine has an output of 441 horsepower, which is around 10 horsepower less than this car. And if you ask why, it can be because the body of Panamera and Cayenne is slightly bigger, so the airflow is it takes longer to reach to the exhaust. Or it can also be because of the tuning of the turbo, which is quite unlike Porsche, because normally Porsche always want to have one up on Audi. Take a look at e-tron GT and Taycan, and several other examples like Cayenne Turbo GT and Urus. They always want to have plus 10, but in this case it's not like that. But coming back to the topic, it's the same engine, the 2.9 liter turbocharged V6, and in this car it produces 450 horsepower and 600 Newton meter. And actually the same engine is also now used in the latest generation of Macan GTS. In that particular car, the engine produces 441 horsepower and 550 Newton meter. Again, slightly less than in RS5. And as I said before, it is actually smaller than RS6. So the last time I already had an offer for RS6, like on a piece of paper. But then I was thinking about it, and it turns out our RS6 is quite a big car, is it? And actually, like, every time I try to park that car, the last centimeter of the bumper, the rear bumper, is the one that always got me. And this car is a lot smaller than that, but it is not too small. And now let's go to the driving dynamics and the whole stuff. So I have this car for a day, which is a very short time to know about the car. But as I said before, I'm quite familiar with the engine, so it's more like the chassis, the suspension, and the whole sound, which is quite important to me, like in this test drive. And I'm happy to report it is a fast car. And Audi being Audi, so this car is has the Quattro system, which powers all of the wheels, but it's rear biased. But when the car needs the front wheel to support, it will transfer the power to the front wheel as well, which means you always have traction. And I used to have a BMW M4, and this is where the factor of underratedness, if that's a word, I don't know, comes into play. Because if I ask you which German power coupe that you want to have, a lot of people would go directly to C63 AMG coupe, because it has the amazing 4.0 liter V8 and it sounds good. Even though I don't like AMG, I need to admit that it's one of the best V8 engine in the last 10 years. Or BMW M4 or M3 competition, which I can objectively say that M4 competition, even the last one, has actually, like, that engine has slightly more character. Well, it sounds louder. Like M4 competition didn't have the most melodic exhaust note, and I guess you know that, but it's still louder than this. But that's also actually what makes RS5 quite a special thing, because after driving this car and I heard how some people rate RS5, actually I have a feeling that Audi want to cater to different kind of people, different group of people, I might say. People that wants to cruise, that want to have a cruiser, but also want to have a fast cruiser that can also be driven in winter. And that's why this car, the engine sound, the exhaust sound, it's just not spectacular. It's just not its, how can I say it? Like, it's not its best trait. But I think Audi wants it to be that way. So this car is projected to be more a GT car. And learning from experience, so back in the days, I used to drive around 300 kilometers, like daily, to my work. And there was this 1 week that I needed to take the M4 instead, take the M4 and not my daily. So my daily back in the days was for XC90. And I still remember on that particular day, I was driving on the Autobahn and I received a call. So I put the M4 in eco mode and slowed down to 120. And you know what? It was still too loud. So, learning from that experience, a good GT car should be able to be quiet. Like Bentley Continental. I know this is not a comparison. RS5 and Bentley Continental is like just half the price. But knowing like how good this car can handle, and also like this dual personality, it is just real in RS5. So if you put it into the comfort mode, you hear literally nothing, like you know, just like wind whistling and maybe contact with asphalt and stuff. But when you put it all into dynamic mode, it can do something. So it might not be a best car for track day, but you can have fun with this car. But then one thing that I don't like about this car is like it has this kind of like DSG fart every time it shifts in dynamic mode. It's just like, it's typical. It's typical Audi. And I might also say the reason why people might not like the sound of RS5 is because, if my memory serves me right, my Macan GTS back in the days sounds a lot better than this. But that car was also from 2016, so I guess we cannot compare. But this car sounds a little bit more like Cayenne S, I guess. So a little bit more subdued, a little bit more subtle, and that's why like this car, I think Audi wants to make it as a GT car. So we talk about the TSG part, and one more thing that I don't like is the transmission. So in default, this car is riding on auto mode, means the car like will try to predict what you want to do. So, and it based normally on your throttle kind of input normally. But sometimes, if you, let's say like you are not so committed, the transmission will then get confused, and because of that, the quality, the ride quality is not refined anymore. So you will find your body like, you know, jerking to the front and to the back because of the transmission. So the best thing that you can do to avoid that is either you are very committed if you put your foot down, or just put it into comfort, or the dynamic mode, which is with the RS mode, and it's fully customizable. So it's amazing. Yes, now let's go to the driving dynamics, which is suspension. It is pretty good in comfort mode. It rides better than my old M4, but marginal. But the ride was never jarring. And how about the handling? How about the steering? It's pretty much like an Audi. So a little bit dead, a little bit numb, but pretty precise. And I might also say quite responsive. Move on to the next point. The interior is typical Audi, and there are positive meaning to that and negative meaning to that. The positive meaning is it is solidly built. The quality is top notch, and everything is as it should be. And one thing that I quite like about this car is that it doesn't have the tree display layout. So everything for the climate control and this and that is still with physical buttons, which is good. Well, learning from my e-tron, like the old e-tron, sometimes it can be quite disgusting to try to operate the climate control with touchscreen if you're on the move. So yeah, this is good. And actually this car is the latest facelift of RS5, which means it has new entertainment system, which is, I don't know, 10.5 inch iPad put on here. It doesn't look so different as the old one, but it has the latest software inside, which is quite responsive. And let me try. It doesn't have the capacitive touch, but it makes noises when you touch it. So at least there is some response. So, and virtual cockpit is crisp, cannot fault it. And let's move to the stuff that I don't like about the interiors. As I said before, it's typical Audi. Means doesn't matter how much you pay for a car, you will find plastic. Haha. It's soft touch plastic. It's still leather. And if you want to change that, there's a price for that, and you can. So you can put like leather or Alcantara on this. It will cost you something, and I think they might as well call it like Audi exclusives to, you know, to get more money from you. But this car does have an extensive carbon package inside and outside. So here is the carbon, it's quite glossy, which is nice. I really like this one. Better than the steel or whatever, that palladium painted blah, which is actually I get in my new e-tron GT, because, you know, you don't need to spend all of the money, right? But having said all that, why does this middle console need to be in piano black? Just like plastic, Audi needs to put piano black if they see a chance. Why? If you're human and you have fingerprints, it will get there. That's how bad it is. Why don't make it just carbon, all carbon, like in C63 or C-Class, like with the option all carbon? A lot better. And yeah, and this is actually Audi exclusive. It says it like here on the door, but it's Audi exclusive because I guess it has the bronze package, so all of the stitches here is in bronze. That costs something, by the way. And I guess that bronze package comes with the bronze wheels, which is nice. But then I don't really like the bronze wheels. I like the bronze wheels from 992 GT3, and that was not called bronze. That was neodyne, and Audi doesn't have it. And by the way, talking about Porsche, this car color is Audi Individual Sport Classic, which is actually from Porsche, and I guess it's the same color as the launch color for 911 Sport Classic. If you know it, write in the comment below. I haven't researched about that, but the color looks fantastic. Looks slightly like Nardo Gray though. Yeah, so now we move to conclusion. RS5, this car costs solid 130 grand. And if you want to have the latest facelift with the latest infotainment, the latest steering wheel, by the way, as well, the used one will cost you 90,000 euro. And if you don't care about the infotainment, you go for the first generation, 2017, 2018 RS5, it will cost you between 60 and 70,000. By the way, with the first generation, they didn't have the Sportback yet, and I need to tell you that Sportback really put slightly more practicability, and that's actually one thing that makes this car also kind of like can keep up a bit with RS6. Of course, it cannot carry double pram, but it can carry more than enough if you're single or if you haven't got baby yet. And 450 horsepower is more than enough. And if you can live with that transmission, which can be quite annoying sometimes, then you are in good hands. So, is it a good car for you or is it not? It all goes back to you to decide. I'm here to just inform you how it feels like to drive. It can be a very good cruiser. It might not be the best sports car, but it is for sure quick. So it hits 100 km/h in 3.9 seconds, and it will hit it because it has the quattro system. And yeah, and talking about the plastic, you can always, put some leather or Alcantara. Just tick the boxes, but be wary. The more boxes you tick, the more expensive it will get. All right, that's it from me. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe because it motivates me to upload more and more. By the way, we just hit 100 subscribers. Yay, means 100 people will watch this video. I cannot believe that, but thank you guys. And so see you on the next video. Stay healthy, stay cool. Ciao for now.